6 years in Congress that really started like when I first went up after I got elected. Where after every election happens, the new members of Congress, they go and they have what's called new member orientation, and they give you these books, and here's the maps, and here's where your office is, and all the administrative and logistical stuff. But very quickly, I would say within the first few days, where we first come in together as Democrats and Republicans, immediately, okay, Democrats go this way, Republicans go this way, immediately separated. And what we're told right off the bat is, look, this is about getting wins for our political party. And if you work with a Republican, then that's going to hurt the party, especially if you work with a Republican that the Democratic Party is trying to take out. Forget the substance of the idea. Forget the substance of the bill. And this happens on the opposite side as well. Republicans with Democrats, both political parties are guilty of this, where they're really putting the interests of the political party ahead of the people who just voted for us to go and serve them. And not just the Democrats who voted for me, but yes, the independents and the Republicans, both who voted for me or who didn't, but who I serve as part of my constituency. And I've continued to see this where, you'll have a bill that because it's a Democrat bill, Republicans will vote against it, substance aside, or a Republican bill, Democrats will vote against it just because it's a Republican bill. But then, hey, if they come in and, a month or a year later introduce the same bill or a similar bill, but now because it's a Democratic bill, okay, everybody, hey, let's go and support this legislation. You can imagine why there's so much gridlock in Washington, why nothing really gets done, and ultimately how this divisiveness and this hyperpartisanship is hurting the ability for the needs of the American people to be served.
When you talk about people like yourself that are completely funded by the public, mm-hmm. and you have this very logical and objective way of discussing this gridlock, do you think that the future is in young people like yourself getting involved in politics, that they're not connected to this old world for 35, 45 years? This world, it sounds like this is just what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched House of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
I get it sort of. That seems like chaos. And it seems like there's no way to fix that. It's almost like these people have to stop being politicians. Yeah. They have to be voted out or die off. I mean,
well, I think it's evident where we see those who are very entrenched in this this broken system feel very threatened by the rise of people-powered campaigns, individual contributions coming in and supplanting the big money that they get from, the PACs and lobbyists. And there's fear there because they see their whole world being disrupted by people like me or others who are coming in and saying, no, we're not buying into any of that. And we're coming in to actually fulfill the mission that we've been charged with by those who voted for us to serve the people, all the people of this country.
And would you say that, well, this is my position. I think that Trump plays a part of that because I think he was the first guy to come in basically self-funded or being funded through his own means, mm-hmm. and not listening to the rest of the Republican Party saying, hey, I'm going to take over, mm-hmm. and I'm going to do this my way. And then knowing that he could do that, and knowing that there were so many Republicans against him, and knowing that there's so many Democrats against him as well, but yet he's still the president.
Yep.
Like people are like, Jesus, this is a fragile system. Like this system it's what they've done to acquire power is still very vulnerable, even though they have this deeply entrenched system of weird little relationships that it's not good enough.
Yeah.
That if the people do rise up and they decide, hey, we want to put Tulsi in as president, you're going to have a different situation. A lot of you clowns are going to be out of work.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's really that's the message that we're carrying to living rooms and town halls and communities across the country is Washington continues to underestimate the power of the people.
And it's supposed to work for you.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, our founding fathers had this vision for our country that our government would be of the people, by the people, and for the people. And instead, what we have is a government of the rich and powerful by and for the rich and powerful, or of the special interests in corporations by and for the special interests in corporations. Yes. And, we the people get left behind.
And they continue to talk to us like they're in control.
Yeah.
they're one of us, and they're supposed to be public employees. They're supposed to be servants.
That's right.
Of the public.
Yeah.
They don't talk like that.
No.
They talk like people who are in a position of power and influence.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy. It's not a healthy perspective.
It's evident of that huge disconnect between the bubble that is Washington and the reality of the lives that we live every day, people all across this country.
That's always the case, though. When people get in control of things, they always meddle, make it easier for them, make it better for them. What can I do to make this a little easier? Is there another way? How can I help myself here? How can I make sure that when I get out of office, I can do these public speaking tours and make $250,000 a pop?
Yeah.
When I hear about the money those guys make to just go and talk, I'm like, what? Who is paying for that? Who is paying to listen to Hillary Clinton
What are they
talk?
getting out of it?
What are you getting out of that?
That's right.
Like, can I listen? I would love to pretend to be a banker, to put a lizard skin face mask on and go sit with those bankers and listen to one of those conversations that Hillary Clinton got paid $250,000 to talk.
Yeah. Never release the transcripts for
What is that about?
Yeah.
Who is... It's some weird sneaky deal that they make.
Yeah.
Where nobody wants to pay that. Like, go do that in Madison Square Garden. See how many tickets you sell.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Bill and Hillary are doing the speaking tour thing right now.
Yeah.
I am baffled as to who is going to pay to go see Bill and Hillary bullshit them.
That's right. They're doing it together now,
real.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill is so old. Why doesn't he just come clean? I would love to get that guy and just get him drunk and put him on the edge. Just have him just talk about life. No, you only got a few years left. Everything's falling apart in your body. Yeah. What are your regrets?
Yeah.
What'd you do wrong? What could you have done differently? Stop all this bullshitting.
Yeah.
What
you should have him on your show, Joe.
I would love to. I would love to do mushrooms with him. That's what I want to do. I would have him on the show and do it in Colorado because they decriminalized mushrooms. It's just this role of being the person that is in control of this country has always been this impossible task. And when I see a person like you who wants to do it, I say, listen, you have some of the best ideas and the most healthy perspective that I've ever heard from anyone that's ever running for president. But why would you want to do that to yourself? Those are the two things that I think of.
Because it's not for myself. And it's not to be in control of the country and the people. It's to serve the people and our country. It's a continuation of this mission that I've chosen for my life, to be of service, to find different ways to do that. It started in Hawaii with gathering my friends as a kid and going and picking up trash off the beach on the weekends, and experiencing even then at a young age that made me happier than anything else. Than, going and playing video games with my friends or anything like that. And that mission that was deeply ingrained in me further with my service in the military, serving as a soldier, where, I'm serving alongside people of all walks of life, as every race, religion, ethnicity, orientation, everything, every one of us wearing that same uniform, serving that same flag that represents the American people, with that laser-like focus on putting service above self. And that's what I seek to bring to the White House, to restore those values of integrity and honor and respect, to make it so that White House is a beacon of light for the American people, to know that White House belongs to them and represents them and their interests and their interests alone.
Does anybody, even a person like you who's on the outside, do you think anybody truly knows what it's like to run the country until they get in there? Can you even have an idea of how impossible a task it is to be in control of the economy, the environment, the infrastructure, the military, our position in the world? It seems like the most insane duty to require someone to run all those things, to be aware of all those things, to be responsible for all of the successes and all of the failures.
Yeah. It's an awesome responsibility. There's no question about that. And I think it fulfills that higher calling, that this is not about any kind of selfish interest. This, for me, is not about any kind of ambition that I've had. I've never had any kind of thought, well, I want to be president one day, or even I want to be a member of Congress one day. It's always been about how can I best be of service, and how can I make a greater impact? And that's what I've seen throughout my time in Congress, where I've served on these committees. I've served on the Foreign Affairs and Armed Services committees. I've been calling for and fighting for an end to these wasteful regime change wars, an end to this new Cold War and nuclear arms race. There's only so much I can do as a member of Congress. To be able to serve as President and Commander-in-Chief, I know that I can make that kind of impact and see change in our policy that keeps our country safe, that moves us closer to that future of peace and prosperity.